If you're a prepper, survivalist, bushcrafter, or just someone who wants to experience more of life and enjoy life more, then meditation might be for you. There's this idea in our culture that meditation is some kind of woo-woo, navel-gazing thing from Eastern cultures and real mystic. But the United States Marines are meditating these days. The reason why? Because meditation is being scientifically shown to have a whole host of benefits. Here's just a few. The Marines are doing it because they know that it enhances combat effectiveness. It makes you calmer, more relaxed in stressful situations. Also, it helps, if they've been in a combat situation, to come out the other side of that with less psychological impact. Because we, again, learn to reprocess trauma, stress, frustration. We all know, right, in our culture, eating healthy, working out, that makes sense. We know that we get a stronger body by exercising. But what we haven't been taught is that we get a stronger mind through meditation. And meditation is no more mystical than a push-up, all right? It's really simple, and it has these profound benefits. Stress, frustration, if you're quick to anger, these sorts of emotions are powerfully changed when we meditate. And it's not just subjective change. So I can mark change by saying, okay, I met a situation today that yesterday I think I would have flipped out, but I was really calm. That's a subjective change that we know. But this research is showing real objective changes in the gray matter of our mind. So a brain scan is done before people start meditating and then 6 weeks later. And they see that parts of the brain have shrunk, parts of the brain have grown. I'll have a couple over here so that you can see some of the more specifics if you are into that sort of thing. But for most of us, the important thing to know is that the parts of our brain that trigger a fear response, that send us into hyperactive fight or flight, that when someone pulls out in front of us, we get a big adrenaline rush, or we get frustrated or angry. Those parts of our brains shrink. The parts of our brains that can look rationally at a situation and can react to it appropriately, those parts of our brain grow. So in a survival situation, for instance, if I have a hyperactive fight or flight response, as soon as something goes wrong, I don't get my fire started the first time, I'm going to start to flip out, get stressed, things start to fall apart and degrade. If, on the other hand, I have my brain developed so that when I don't get that fire started, I can look at the situation, I can look at my skill set, I can look at my current state of being, I can look at the tools that I have, and I can find the best way to deal with that situation without getting stressed out about it. If you want to try meditating yourself, I'm going to give you a really simple way to start. You maybe have been put off by it because you hear about these special postures and am I supposed to be burning incense or have some statue of some deity in front of me? No. Really simple, really basic. Again, meditation, equivalent to push-ups. Posture is not necessary. You can lay down in whatever position you want if you want to meditate. But the reason often that we use posture is because it helps gauge when we start to, for instance, fall asleep. So if I'm up in a posture and I feel myself slumping, or even I just note that I'm starting to kind of bow down here into a slumpy posture, it can bring me back by re-engaging that posture. If it helps you, some of the Zen folks use a hand posture like this. It can be left, right, on top, doesn't matter. There's traditional ways, but we're leaving all that aside. And then placing your thumbs together. And that is just like your posture. It's not mystical. It's just that it takes a little bit of strength and awareness to keep these up here. And as you're meditating and they flop down or they start to drift, you can kind of be brought back to awareness by resetting those. So use posture or a hand position if you want. Not important. When I close my eyes, and you can do it eyes open, eyes closed, up to you. Try both ways. When I do it here, I'm going to close my eyes, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to pay attention to my breath. Breathing in through my nose, out through my mouth. And I'm putting my awareness onto that sensation of breathing. And what's going to happen is I'll take one breath, two, maybe three, and then my mind will start rambling off, thinking about, that meeting tomorrow. What am I cooking for dinner? What did my wife say about that? There goes the brain. No problem. As soon as you catch yourself thinking, come back to that sensation of breathing. It's that simple. And every time you do that, every time you come from a thought back to your breathing, you just did a push-up for your brain. And so you don't have to punish yourself for thinking. It's going to happen to all of us. And every time it happens, it gives you a chance to do that mental push-up. Come back to your breath. It's really that simple. It's a wonderful way to begin a meditation practice. In the research, I believe they have tracked people for 6 weeks, I think 20 minutes a day. And in just 6 weeks, they've done those brain scans and seen a shift in the gray matter. So if you try meditation, you're probably going to see results fairly quickly. You're going to see those subjective results. You can start with 5 breaths in and out. You could start with 10 minutes. Don't overdo it. If you say, okay, I'm going to start with 20 minutes today, I'm going to do 20 minutes every day. If you've got a great willpower, you'll be able to do it. Otherwise, that can kind of be setting yourself up for failure. Because it's intense, meditation, when you first start. 5 minutes a day, let's say. Go with that. Relax into it for 5 minutes. This is 5 minutes when you don't have to do anything. You just get to sit there and breathe, which becomes a little bit addictive because it's kind of cool in our world to have a moment when you're doing nothing. Sit there for 5 minutes, and I would love to hear from you if you try this out. In a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, do you notice a difference? Some of the differences I have noticed from meditation in my life. Emotional balance, heightened senses, better memory, an ability to have situations that are really challenging come at me and not spaz out. Be able to be relaxed and move my way through those situations in the most optimal way possible for me at the time. What do you notice? If you're a long-time meditator, I'd also love to hear from you in the comments below. What are the benefits that you've seen in your life, and why do you do it? Thanks for watching. I hope if you have thought about meditation and that you thought it was just a little too out in outer space, that this maybe has changed your mind. This is good, hard science. This is as basic as exercise, as basic as push-ups. Awesome. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.